Marxism is a sort of a bogus religion. That's the golden calf for the left. That's what they worship. Islamism is a genocidal ideology. The killing never stops. It can't. The abuses never stop. It can't. What is it about Judaism in particular that causes the laser-like focus of the communists, the Marxists, and the Islamists? What is that? What is that about? And by the way, the Third Reich too, and I can talk about that, but the Third Reich isn't the issue right now with respect to Blinken and Sanders and so forth. They're not of that ilk. They're of a different ilk. That's not to say, as I'm trying to point out, that there aren't other ideological, genocidal maniacs out there. There are. But I'm talking about this fusion. I'm talking about what you saw on our college campuses, even though I call them the Hitler Youth because they hate the Jews, the river to the sea. They're really the Islamist, Stalinist youth. But to say that, I don't want to complicate people's lives and so forth. You're here on Levin TV because this is what I do. I explain these things. But why Judaism? Why is Judaism at the top of the list? Don't get me wrong. There's all kinds of other faiths, but Judaism in particular. Because what is Judaism based on? It's not based on current events. It's the exact opposite of Marxism. Where Marxism says we start from a clean slate today. All history is corrupt. All ancient history is corrupt. It must be eliminated. It must be destroyed. Religious Jews believe that all life is in the Torah, the Ten Commandments, ancient history. When God spoke to the Jews, when God spoke to Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the holy sites, the Western Wall, following the rules, following the laws that were handed down by the prophets, taking all that wisdom, all that learning over 4,000 years, and applying it to modern society, applying it today, applying it to morality, to family, to life. Jews cannot start, faithful Jews, today without history. Neither can Christians. That's why we call it the Judeo-Christian ethic. Christianity grew out of Judaism. Jesus was a Jew. I don't need to do all this religious history, but without Judaism, there wouldn't have been Christianity. That's why faithful Christians, evangelical Christians, born-again Christians, but faithful Christians, defend the state of Israel. Because many of you embrace the notion that it is through Israel, that it's through the Jewish people that Jesus will come back as the Messiah. Different from Judaism. Jews believe that the more Jews, that the universe of Jews embrace the Torah and embrace God, the Messiah will come. But you can see the overlap. Marxism says, destroy all of them. If we don't destroy these faiths, and we don't destroy these people, Marxism will fail. We will be held back. We will be throwbacks. We know what works today. It's based on economics. It's based on materialism. It's based on redistribution of wealth. It's based on class warfare. It's based on getting rid of the bourgeoisie. The bourgeoisie includes the people of faith, not just the capitalists, not just the landowners, not just the business managers, but people of faith who are even worse because they're proselytizing either with their own families or more generally in a way that usurps the Marxist ideal. Again, in the Communist Manifesto, and he wrote a lot more than that, and you got to read a lot more than that, but in the Communist Manifesto, he even takes on the family. He says, parents may be repulsed by what I'm writing and saying, but who do you think you are, he says. Who do you think you are? By birth, you get to determine what society's going to look like? Because by birth, you get to raise your kids the way you think you should raise them? That runs counter to the communal. That runs counter to the paradise that we are preaching. And so, Mao destroyed the family. All these communist regimes try to control the family. In the United States, the nuclear family is being destroyed. Radical left-wing teachers, protected by radical left-wing unions that report to a radicalized Democrat Party, try to come between parents and their children. This isn't a mistake. This isn't a coincidence. The Islamists, well, same thing. The only ancient history that matters is theirs. They don't believe the world begins today. They believe today's world must destroy everything else. Everything else. That there are no boundaries to countries. There are no nation states. There's no sovereignty. Ours is an ideology. Ours is a Allah-given directive. And we will not defy Allah. And for us to reach the pinnacle of heaven, and for us to serve our God, we must serve him on earth first. And again, these are the fundamentalists. And what else we do? Destroy. Okay. Who do we destroy first? The Jews. They're the biggest problem we have, we Marxists and we Islamists. We destroy the Jews. We must destroy the Jews. They keep holding on to this ancient history. The Babylonians couldn't destroy them. The Persians couldn't destroy them. The Romans couldn't destroy them. The Third Reich couldn't destroy them. But they must be destroyed. We're not interested in peace. We're not interested in another state. We must destroy the state of Israel, the epicenter of Judaism. We must destroy Jerusalem. We must destroy their holy sites. Remember what the Taliban did with those massive Buddhist monuments? They blew them up. We must kill them, abuse them, rape them. Is that not exactly what happened on October 7th? We must do this in service to our faith. Marxism, we must do this in service to our paradise. Marxism is a sort of a bogus religion. That's the golden calf for the left. That's what they worship. Islamism, not mainstream Islam, but Islamism, is a genocidal ideology. The killing never stops. It can't. The abuses never stop. It can't. Because they will never rejigger man and remake societies the way they want to. These are the two. These are the people marching. These are the people in the streets. They have common cause. Their common cause is the destruction of the state of Israel, the destruction of its prime minister, the destruction of the United States of America, which is their biggest modern-day target. But in the case of Israel, a small country with a small population that relies heavily on the United States, groups like CARE and others, they figured out about 30, 40 years ago that the way to cut America from Israel and therefore isolate Israel and turn it into a pariah state is to work with the American left, is to secrete themselves into the media, just like the Marxists, is to have these so-called civil rights groups, to use the Marxist model of oppress and oppressor, to make claims of civil rights and property rights and victimization that are historic lies, but to make them. And that's exactly what they do. This fusion of Marxism and Islamism has been around a long time, as it turns out. It's been around in Europe a long time. When you think about Europe, oh, we love to go to Paris, don't we? Not me, but others. We love to go to London. We love to go, it's just so cool. More genocidal ideologies have come out of Europe than you can imagine. Whether it's Hitler-like fascism, whether it's Marxism and the practice of Marxism, obviously it exists in the Middle East and the Far East. But the birthplace of the Marxist genocidal political ideologies is Europe, just as the birthplace of Islamist genocide is the Middle East.
Want to see more Mark Levin? Go to levintv.com and subscribe now.